guys, I am Republic of Vixia, and today, and for the next few episodes, I will be showing how to draw a fantasy map. Now, this is something I've done for quite a while, and, well, most of the maps I'm going to show you are from last year, but I have been doing this for quite some time, and I think I have a good way of doing it, and this video series is basically showing you that way. And to start off, I'm going to show you some of the examples of the maps I've drawn. This is probably the earliest one I drew of a continent called Orbe. It was just a random name I came up with off the top of my head. Like all of these, and you can tell I had a little bit of fun with Ice being the capital of Berg and stuff like that. But that's similar to the style we'll be doing today, but not exactly. A closer one would be this one, which is kind of based off of Greece-ish, roughly. And it you can tell it has kind of that shape, but not really. It's supposed to just kind of be like a fictitious place based roughly off of the Greek mainland and a few surrounding islands. And yeah, this has a little inlay over here with stuff, because there's a little area right here which has a bunch of city-states and, you know, smaller countries which you can't really see what they're called on the main map. But the closest one to what we'll be doing is this. Now, it does have different sections, and I lost the main map that has the big island cluster, because these are all supposed to be one big island archipelago thing. But you can tell it's similar, because what we'll end up doing is we'll end up having a big island with a few islands off the coast, like kind of like this one, and then we'll draw the flags, and then I'll show you how to draw the flags to save on time of only the top 5 in population nations of the country, and of the continent, and I will tell you how to roughly determine that. And basically, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series. But enough about that. I'm sure you noticed they're all done on graph paper, which is what I like using for drawing maps and drawing in general, really, because it has these nice grids. If I flip it over, I was practicing on this sheet a little bit. You can draw little squiggly coastlines in some of these little squares, and then you can, here, let me show you. You could even draw like a rough concept sketch like I did there, of like, I don't know, some continent or other. Now, what we're going to be doing is something more akin to the first one and the last one I showed you, because as you saw with the Greek-inspired one, it's connected to a mainland, and you definitely could do that, like I did here. But what I personally like doing is drawing islands, because then you can see all of it, and you don't have to have a weird half country on and off, because you might not have room to show all of the country. So, like I said, I like drawing islands because you can show every bit of the country, and if the capital's not on the page with these style maps, the ones that are connected to a big mainland off the coast, it has a tendency to look a little strange, like those countries don't have capitals. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started with today's episode, which is going to be drawing the land masses of the island that I will be working on. So you want to draw like pretty squiggly, and because coasts aren't very smooth, and you want to try to draw thin lines, but if they get a little bit on the thick side, that's fine. Like, just draw normal lines. I'm drawing with a pencil, with a mechanical pencil, and as you can tell, it's starting to look like a fantasy map. Now, something I like to do, as you can see with some of the maps I showed, I like having a big bay in the center of the main like island, and then maybe like a little protrusion up there, and then make sure everything is connected, because it can't be connected to the sea. And then in the little bay, if you have one, you can draw like little islands, little jagged islands. And then off the coast, you can draw some bigger islands. And then maybe you can draw some that eventually split off from the mainland, forming like kind of a strait. And then you can even draw some that are kind of like similar to the main island in that they have like a bay, and like that's something that just forms naturally here. And that one was a little smooth. That might not be the best, this one. So I'm gonna erase that. That's the beauty of pencils, you can erase with them. And then I'll draw more squiggly over that. That might even be a little too squiggly, but it should be good for this just demonstration. And basically, what you want to do is you don't want it to look, here, let me flip over to the back. You don't want it to be like completely empty. Like you want it to be filled up. You don't want to have just like one island. You want to have a few islands and a big island, and then it can look much better and much more complete. Like I did here, I could even draw kind of one down here, and then I'll draw a little bit of a hint of a connected landmass over here. I'm probably not going to put anything on it. Maybe one country, and the capital's most likely, and I'll show you why, going to be located here, unless there's some other. Yeah, we'll get into that in a later episode, but that's pretty much it for today's episode. Tune in for the next episode. I've said episode a lot, but tune in for the next episode to learn how to do the geographical features other than the landmass, like mountains, rivers, and forests. I'll see y'all then. Goodbye.